All right, welcome to Afterthoughts. We just finished our game, a two-player game of, what's the only two-player of It's a Wonderful Kingdom from Lucky Duck Games. So if you haven't yet,
I beat her by even more than I thought I did.
Go to our channel and watch the full playthrough and then come back to this. So Afterthoughts, yeah, apparently you beat me by worse than we thought.
I beat you by 41 points and not 39 points. This might be the most lopsided game I've seen.
Like I said, it would have been kind of
Do you think
funny.
do you think it was that second round that did it for you?
It was definitely that second round. I mean, I called it when I said I took all four, because we had all four traps laid up here. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Because I didn't want to just keep them up there, honestly, for the integrity of the game. Yeah. I didn't want to just keep adding things on it. And so I was like, I'm just going to take, for the viewers.
You did it for the viewers?
I did it all for the viewers.
See, I probably would have done it. If you had put two more face-up cards there, I probably would have taken it then. It was still like...
You may still have won at that point.
Potentially.
But it would have been a little bit more even, I think.
Like, that second and third round together, where both of those rounds, you got both the giant rat and the thief. It hampered your gray buildings, which you had given yourself a lot of.
A lot of gray buildings.
And then it also spawned, you had 6 vermin by the end of it, and that's just...
And I even got rid
negative
of
12 points in this game is a lot.
A lot. And then I had these two negative, so that was -4. Yeah, I had negative 20. It's right there.
Yeah.
Negative 20 points. It was rough. I mean... It doesn't negate the fact that I like this game, though.
Yeah, no, I think that
I can have a really rough game and still be like, okay, it's on. Let's do it again. We got to do over.
I think I like the decisions of this game more than I like winning or losing the game. Like, I just have so much fun trying to figure out. And
what the other
I love bluffing games. I love trying to get into someone's head or decipher what they're thinking and what they're planning.
I've come a long way since coup.
Oh, you did great in coup, though.
You taught me coup.
You did so good in coup. I think it's naturally a good style of game.
I'm such a good liar.
No, I mean, I do that all the time. Like, that's like a joke with my family and stuff, is that they don't like playing lying games with me.
Well, because you have... I was telling Daniel about this actually yesterday. You remind me of Peyton. Because Peyton, our 9-year-old, he looks like he's just kind of blank in the face, I don't know what's going on. And then he'll drop it out. It's like mic drop when he plays. It's like, where did that come from? And you play that a lot where you're just like, I don't know what's going on. And then you're just like, bam. So I've noticed that with your gameplay, which I thought about when we were doing our practice to just be not play very well so that you would already feel like you had a little bit of upper hand.
Oh, you're so sneaky. I didn't even think about that. That's legitimately, I didn't even think about playing bad in a game to then play better in the next game.
Well, it's
because this... about that on the way here. Should I throw the practice game?
Well, because this is...
You have so many layers. Oh my gosh.
I'm an onion.
That's crazy. Is that a real conversation?
Yeah.
Well, because
you're maniacal.
At the core, this is a bluffing game.
Yeah,
because of how the drafting plays into it, and that's just the bluff. So I was like, okay, do I do the ultimate bluff and throw our practice game before we play?
Yeah.
I didn't. That would have been great if I actually
That would have been hilarious.
But no. So if we just switched them. Pretend that the actual game was my bluff. Let's play again.
Third time's a charm.
I wasn't trying at all.
That was the real bluff.
Right.
Now we can really play off camera. No, I really like this. I enjoyed It's a Wonderful World a lot. I thought that...
See, I played this one first before I played It's a Wonderful World, and I like this more.
So I like certain games in a 2-player way very much more than the other versions of them. I like Seven Wonders Duel more than I like Seven Wonders. I really like Dice Throne just as a 2-player game. But there are some fun things about... Oh my goodness.
I'm going to come talk.
You're going to come talk. But I think the thing that I find the most fascinating...
Our producer is entering.
I don't know if I'm on camera or not. Here, I'm going to...
I think you are.
I'll go.
Because I would be
I'll
pretty much off.
Yeah.
You going to go what?
I'm going to widen this up a little bit.
I
would have been cut off. Can't have that.
I can also move over a little bit more.
I moved over a little bit.
You're good.
Just wait. I'll wait.
Now, okay, I have a question. Since you said you do like Seven Wonders Duel more than Seven Wonders, we own Seven Wonders.
Yeah.
But because I know how much I love Seven Wonders Duel, should I should I just play it to say I've played it and I have an opinion, or
should you play Seven Wonders?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you should play it for sure. I think your kids would love it. And I mean,
think
like
it'd be worth it to play
Alex
as a two-player.
vehemently disagrees with me that Seven Wonders
duel's
is the
better?
better game. And I mean, to be
That
fair,
Seven
I
Wonders or
think
Seven Wonders Duel?
he thinks Seven Wonders is the better
Okay.
game. And he though incorporates a couple expansions when he plays, at least one of them. I think he does at least the leaders. But for me, I like the decision space where not only can I try to pick something for myself, but if I do it correctly, I can pick something for myself while negating what you do in a very like direct way. And I think that player interaction is heavier in a two-player game.
Yeah.
Because everything
definitely
that's
is.
happening is pinging back and
Directly.
forth between two
Directly
people.
between
It's
the
not
two.
like it's not like me going, oh, I'm going to screw over Allison, and then Daniel's like, oh, I'm going to screw over Devon,
Right.
and that kind of spreads it around a little bit around the table.
And this one, like, and the whole reason I wanted to come sit down and join this chat is I've been like, It's a Wonderful World is purely an engine builder. Like, there's drafting, but you are
Yeah.
building an engine, and this is deceptive, I think, because it's technically an engine builder, but it's much more crisis aversion than it is engine.
Oh,
like,
it's- yeah.
You have to build your engine to avert the crisis.
Yeah,
But
it's
someone
like
is
danger
getting,
mitigation.
Yeah, yes,
That's-
it is
that's a
much
good
more
point.
mitigation than engine building, and you get into that like
I mean, I
I
had
noticed
no
in like
points
round
until
two,
the very end.
round 2 and 3, y'all had very few cards here. Like this all happened at the end,
Yes, yeah.
and that because you're trying to mitigate the damage that the other person is doing.
I mean,
to
2
you.
different rounds, I took like a 2/3 or half of the
Yeah.
normal amount of cards you would take
Yep.
to avoid taking
Right.
bad cards.
And the only reason I only ended up having four cards at the
four
fourth round,
cards, four card cards,
is because I was like, well, I'm not going to be putting anything into production. I'm only looking at the market value.
yes,
And you mentioned when we played, like the Wonderful Kingdom or Wonderful World, you may have 40, 50, 60, 70 points at the end of the game because you just have this big, beautiful engine that runs.
yeah.
And this, like, you could very easily end with single digits for both
I mean,
players.
in one of the
Yeah.
games me and you played,
Yeah.
I had like 40 points or 41 points or something, and then this was 32.
34.
But your
34.
practice game, the game y'all played right before
It was
this
20
was
to 17.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That
it's
was very-
it's just a very different.
It's a much lower scoring game because
Yeah.
you're you're not able to let the engine build up as much, which is fine. And I actually don't mind that because I'm not always I don't find the just a core engine thing as appealing as if it's engine building tasked with something else. And
But
like
for as much as this game visually, like looking at the table, as much as it looks like it's a Wonderful World, it is a drastically different game.
very
But
very different.
You've got a pyramid of what you're looking at. You are looking at your points that you want to accumulate. You're looking at what your opponent is trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also trying to get rid of the menaces.
Yeah.
So those 3 areas are because we are so involved in the drafting with each other, you watching the other players doing is
It's
much
huge,
it's
yeah.
much weightier in this
Yeah.
game than in the other engine builders. It's like, you do what you're gonna do, I'm gonna focus on me.
I mean, I really my entire strategy every time I've played this has been not even to be like, what is the most effective for me, but what is the least effective for
Right.
the other person, and then whatever's left, I'll make do
I'll
with.
deal with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was only at the end that I was able to get like 3 or I think I built all 4 of these in the final round. Or close to it. I think maybe that was the round before. But it's like all of my heaviest point scoring stuff was
At the
just
very end.
once I had finished escaping all of the danger. And then it was like, oh, I can do it. I can get points now. That sounds nice.
The only points I got were the very end.
Yeah.
The very end.
Yeah.
And I still had negative.
Now
points.
I am very interested to play the expansions for It's a Wonderful World, and I also want to play It's a Wonderful World at higher than 2. I thought it was fine at 2, but
Yeah, you and I played it, but I think because I played it like that, I was like, "Oh, you're
just
love
compare it.
It's a Wonderful
Yeah,
Kingdom."
it's
But
a direct
really,
comparison.
At more than 2, you just have more cards going around. But it's the gameplay. The gameplay doesn't really change.
Yeah, but
more than 2.
then you get into the mode of what does card drafting actually do, which is kind of like the trying to get something good while not passing on something
Right.
that the other person, and that is where like paying attention to what the other person is doing is
Yeah.
there. But to me, I don't know if I want to check out the expansions for It's a Wonderful World, and if I like them enough, I don't know if I'd ever play
Just
without
base,
them
yeah.
because I don't think the base would be having played this, I don't think the base with multiple people would be as compelling as this is with just 2.
Yeah.
And also without having the menaces and the calamity to kind of weight each side of how the other person is going to draft. Like, because I was like, what if we just house ruled it, and when we play It's a Wonderful World, go ahead and do the same drafting? Because if you're playing 2 players, you could do that. But it wouldn't really matter as much because you don't have the calamity or the menaces to do that enticing and that tension. It wouldn't be
The point of this
there.
drafting is to try and get people bad stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And that adds so much to this gameplay that just isn't involved in It's a Wonderful World.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, my chest was tight. It still is. Like, that whole game. Like, even though I ended up
tension
winning,
is
my
big.
chest is still tight. Like at the end when I was like, you know, I've been putting the rats down, face down, and finally I think I'm gonna put 2 treasures down, and hopefully she doesn't take it. Because I know that even if she puts a bad thing down, I have enough to pay for it. And I was like, because every other time I put 2 down, face down, you took it. And so I was like, please be the one time that you don't take it. Please, 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 please. And then you didn't take it. I was like, oh, goodness.
There it is. We're good. I'm going to take those now.
Like, oh my gosh.
It's such
A
a good
lot of
tension.
bad cards.
So many bad cards.
These are the ones I ended up getting
Getting
rid of.
rid of.
Like, I had all of those.
I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to get her like 1 or 2 more vermin, but she was able to clear enough for the giant rats.
And then there's other, like the frost giants and stuff that just stop you from producing or from building stuff. Like there's so many other layers to where this, you have bad stuff, but it's like you can still build your engine and mitigate it. Where there's other ones that lock up your ability to construct until you get rid of them. So there's so many layers to this game.
Definitely like there's 1 vermin in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse in terms of the giant rats or the thieves. I think that there are ways
play
to
with the frost giants. Those are rough.
Yeah, I think that
And
there
the
are
other
ways
one's
to get
Shadow.
around the thieves.
How
The
does
shadow
the
looked
Shadow?
really cool. That was the one where it was like,
Remind me what the shadow does. It's been a minute.
it's been a minute.
I do not remember what the shadow
minute.
does.
Doesn't it do
need
something
a-
like where you like take a card from them or something like that, or look at their hand or something like that?
It does something to
It does something.
adjust their cards in a negative way.
These are
Yeah.
in the deck, the normal deck.
Brutal.
Well, I think
Brutal.
we fleshed that out.
Yeah.
I think that's a comprehensive afterthoughts.
Yep. So this was Afterthoughts.
Yeah, this is Afterthoughts. Thanks for hanging around and listening to us talk about my demise.
Break down a brutal just beating of a board game.
Oh, you've been beat down with this one, though.
Oh, I have.
Okay,
That's
I was
why I
like-
wanted y'all to play.
You
and
act,
not
you
me.
yeah. I was like, he actively chose not to play.
Yeah.
He's like,
Because
hey
he
Devin,
did.
I don't like this game as much.
This game
No,
is
he
too
likes
soul.
it.
I love it. It's just too soul crushing for me. Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Time to play Star Realms. So
Yeah, we
so
are.
you can redeem yourself and crush me.
Maybe.
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 Usually how Star Realms works.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.